Well, we want to turn now to an extremely new and alarming report about the Hamas terror attacks on October 7th. We have previously reported on the rapes and sexual assaults on that dark day. Well, now there's a new account from the Association of Rape Crisis Centers in Israel. It's said to be based on confidential and public testimonies, as well as eyewitness accounts and interviews with victims and first responders. A warning, some of the details are indeed graphic.
Extremely graphic, in fact. The report says the Hamas terrorists, quote, employed sadistic practices aimed at intensifying the degree of humiliation and terror. It also says the violence was often carried out in front of family and friends in order to increase the pain that was endured. In other findings, the report says that the genitals of both men and women were brutally mutilated.
So let's bring in Orit Solitzanu, the Executive Director of the Association of Rape Crisis Centers in Israel. Orit, thank you so much for joining us. This is really just devastating to read through your lengthy reports as we now approach 5 months since the horrific attacks of October 7th. And clearly you've been able to gather more and more details and testimony and eyewitness accounts. And you write in this report, the terrorist organization Hamas chose to harm Israel strategically in two clear ways: kidnapping citizens and committing sadistic sexual crimes. You go on to say, silence will be remembered as a historical stain on those who chose to remain silent and deny the sexual crimes committed by Hamas.
You know, most of the victims are dead, are not with us, but there are still some women that survived this horrific attack. I see that it's my obligation and our rape crisis centers in Israel obligation to speak and to shout for these who are not alive, but suffered, tortured, sadistically. This is what we found out, that it was not one place, not one kibbutz, not one little town. It happened in many places the same way, as if someone gave instructions to the Hamas terrorists. The world is asking us to prove, as you know, as a woman who is a victim of rape, has to prove that she is raped. How can you prove that you were raped? Because it doesn't leave stains on your body. But in Israel, and many of the first responders and many of the volunteers who collected the bodies saw naked women bodies, mutilated, I don't want to say too graphically, but mutilated genitals. Some of the genitals were just cut off, you know. It's a terror for us, you know, for a woman living in Israel. It's a nightmare what happened, and it will take us years to overcome that.